right, ladies and gentlemen, for StarCraft, we have our first match set, and we are ready to go. It is going to be Perseus versus Hohner.
That's right, and we've got a Terran versus Zerg coming up. The lobby is open, and it looks like they are just getting it set up here, and we are just about ready to go. So both players are readying up, and we are starting the game.
Delegation, our first match of Youmacon 2014. This is going to be freaking incredible.
That's right, the ribbon cutting. We are ready to start it off, kick it off, and so
loading
start
into
the races.
Our first map, which is going to be Overgrowth between this Terran and this Zerg we have here. Oh man, Overgrowth, one of my favorite maps too.
Yeah.
This is especially for Terran versus Zerg.
Yeah, there's
loading.
I do like that you can kind of come in on those angles there towards the back. You got to always keep an eye on there for airdrops or for mutalisks or things like that.
And it's just toying with me, being at 99% for more than a minute. And here we go, Delegation, the first game of Youmacon 2014, StarCraft 2. In the upper right-hand corner, we have the orange Terran. His name is Perseus.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, the red carapaced Zerg, it is Hohner.
Perseus, we saw last year at Youmacon 2013, and he did some pretty nice plays with the Terran. He definitely switched it up quite a bit, not like some of the other Terrans we had, which were either bio or mech. He kind of used a nice little combination of both. But we will see what goes on here. Oh no, some BM going on in the chat already, ladies and gentlemen. This is StarCraft.
I mean, when there's so much money on the line, you kind of don't want to wish your opponent luck, right?
Yeah.
You want luck to be on your side.
I wish you luck, but I wish myself a lot more luck.
Yes, exactly.
So nothing too crazy going down out the gates here, just drones and supply depots from our two players. This is the first time we've actually used this here WCS interface, so it is going to take a little bit of time to get used to the fact that the production is down here in the bottom of the map. Definitely a different place to look than normal. It looks like Perseus is going to be the first one to step out on the map with some scouting. The Overlord of Hohner is headed across. Drone coming out. Looks like what is going to be for a fairly early expansion here, or not.
He's just going to be looking for any proxies, and then he's going to be moving right back to do that expansion. But, oh, it looks like he got freaked out by that SCV coming in. He did not want there to be an engineering bay go down to block that. But Perseus is more interested in scouting to see if there's that spawn pool.
Yep, and looks like can't decide quick which side he wants to put the gas down on. Looks like it is going to be the right. And still just nothing too crazy here. Gas is down and mining for Perseus, so maybe we're going to be seeing some early Reapers here. It's usually about the only reason you would get gas that early. The SCV, I'm trying to decide if it's looking to put down a bunker of some kind here at some point, or if he's just going to be continuing to poke around. He's definitely poking around at the hatchery going down here at the natural of Hohner.
And now going back up, does spot the spawning pool, knows that that's happening. And now, oh, a drone has kind of cut off that little path. But Perseus is quick to move that guy. And we do have Reapers on their way now.
Yes, and looks like it's going to be another factory quite quick in production here. So going for, typically it's going to be the kind of Widowmine type of harassment early Terran opening that we've seen. That's pretty darn obnoxious to deal with. I pretty much hate it myself. And that SCV still being a little bit obnoxious here, taking a few HP off of the hatchery here. Actually taking a decent little bit, is about 70 HP off of that lone hatchery. So that will be a little bit easier to kill later in the game. But still just mining 2 drones in the gas here from Zerg. Speed is on the way. And not a whole lot else so far. Some Zerglings here in production. Looks like 4 just to get out on the map here and do a little bit of early poking. It's going to be a reactor coming down on that factory, so we're probably going to be seeing some Hellions.
That's right. And those Zerglings are on their way across the map. Metabolic boost is probably about 30% done. And moving...
Oh, actually they decided to come right back.
Yeah, decided against that plan after all.
So they are going to be heading right back up into the main. That Reaper is there, which is what drew their attention back onto the stage here. So I just realized we didn't have any game sound. Now that is on. Baneling Nest going to be coming down here at the natural expansion of Hohner, while he does have the Overlord seated in the nice position here where he can see most of the ramp here of the Terran player. as still just Hellions being produced and expansion, so pretty calm game so far. The Zerglings are chasing away that Reaper through the middle of the map. He didn't really commit a whole lot to the Reaper production. Looks like he just made one Reaper? Yeah, one Reaper. So just a little bit to get a little bit of scouting done. He's actually getting a few kills here too.
Oh, it looks like Perseus is currently supply blocked. He just got unsupply blocked, so there are 2 Reapers on their way out. And that command center is going down, but a Baneling nest is just about completed for Hohner on the other side of the map.
That one Zergling does survive, and it does make its way in, and they're going to start taking some... Oh, almost get a surround of that Hellion there, and he does eventually get that surround. Not going to be able to get in the main base, but there is a Marine exposed on the outside. 2 more Hellions pop, and those Hellions are going to have their way with the Zerglings there, force the command center to lift up.
And now Banelings are in production. Right underneath that, we've got 6 in total, and more Zerglings are streaming across the map. He's going for a full bust here. He wants to get in. He wants to deal with this SCV coming over to build a barracks and try and continue to secure that. So he is just doubling up on his wall defense.
He's making quite the multi-layer wall. Oh, those Hellions
no.
getting insane shots on the Zerglings. The Banelings can't quite find their way to the supply depot, but it is just enough to break in. All these Zerglings going to make their way into the main base here of Perseus.
There are a lot of Hellions, though, so he's got to do something about those if he wants to get much of any damage done. And the Hellions are able to do a decent amount of damage. He's going to try and kill this barracks, and does actually get it killed.
Yeah, and trying to rebuild that wall again. The Hellions are going to be enough to shoo away those Lings. All of the Banelings were used up, busting into the front gates there. So he's going to be able to stabilize here a little bit. It looks like production has kind of calmed down for Hohner, going back to drones. So got done not a ton of damage, but got done what he wanted to do, kind of freak out Perseus here a little bit. He does have a couple more Zerglings coming in, but still just not allowing him to really get producing on that natural expansion.
Yeah, the units lost are really telling a picture here. Hohner is not doing quite as well as his opponent here, about double the resources total lost there.
Yeah, lost, what was that, 38 Zerglings?
Yeah, quite a bit. So we do have a Banshee now, then that's getting Cloak as well, so that will be heading across the map, and his opponent doesn't really have any capability of detection at this point.
Yeah, these Hellions are in a nice little spot here, so the Zerglings aren't really able to run by without taking a whole lot of damage. SCV out there smartly repairing those as well. Cloak is about half done, it looks like, while he's just now starting to make some SCVs out of this natural expansion here. Queen is sort of trying to defend the main here, as a Hellion is going to make it all the way up into the main base of Hohner and see exactly what's going on, which is actually not a whole lot in the main base. Maybe take a couple pot shots here at these drones, but not enough to kill them as the Queen comes back to take care of it.
He did get an idea of the timing of the lair there, even though it had just started, so did get a little bit of information. But yeah, there are a lot of Hellions over here, and SCVs are transferring now over to the natural base of Perseus.
There's actually a good number of Queens here. He's got 3 here on 2 bases while his 3rd is going down. These Lings have been hanging around outside of Perseus' base for quite a long time now. I sort of expected him to turn these into some Banelings, maybe. Looks like some drones getting killed.
Yeah,
here.
They are on. There is a
Banshee.
Banshee right in there doing its job. There is a Spore Crawler going down, though.
Yeah, that Spore Crawler is a ways out here. It's going to allow this Banshee to do quite a bit more damage. And it does have quite a bit of energy saved up there, so it will be able to stay cloaked for quite a while. But he does have Spore Crawler now here, so the Queen is going to step up and shoot away. But wow, 11 total drones killed by that one Banshee. That is quite a lot of damage done there.
Absolutely. Second Banshee now coming out and is on its way across the map. The first one heading home to get some repairs done.
So any advantage that Hohner may have gotten from that early bust there was definitely negated by that Banshee coming across. But it still looks like Perseus is still trying to get himself established here, now setting up a wall at the front. Definitely a smart move here, as these Zerglings are still out here. Surprised he has not done anything with those. I kind of wonder if maybe he's forgotten about them a little bit. The Banshee is definitely going to see that they're there as it comes on through. Also, the Overlord sitting there. So 3 base Zerg now, as a Banshee is coming into the 3rd base. The Spore Crawler is just going down, so it is going to be able to clear the drones out of this base here quite easily. And even take some shots at the Queen here. I thought maybe he would go for the Spore a little bit, but looks like not. Spire is coming down for our Zerg opponent here, so that is going to be an interesting play, I guess. As the Hellions are coming across, they're going to go check out the base that was just cleared out by that Banshee, and all the Zerglings being produced now.
Yeah, and that Banshee still being productive is now in the natural base, even though it is detected by the Spore Crawler. Wasn't able to get a whole lot of damage done. Now the Queen moving over to try and get some shots. Still at about half health, though.
And he does have detection now, as well as the Banshee is out of energy. But also, he did see the Spire there. He flew over it multiple times with that Banshee, so he is going to know exactly what's on the way. The Zerglings here trying to... Oh, the Hellbats. Oh, the Galligation, the Hellbats.
And, wow, Hohner's really losing a lot of workers here. A total of 20 have been killed thus far. The Hellbats are moving in, and they're going to be doing some short work on that Spire. Banelings do come in and get a couple of shots off, but there are still a lot of those there.
That's actually really great spacing there on those Hellbats. He spaced them out just enough, so about 5 Banelings took out only 1 Hellbat. And now 5 more Banelings going to take out yet another Hellbat. These Hellbats getting work done here for Perseus, as that Spire is about to go down.
And there it goes as well. So those Hellbats paid with their lives, but they got done what they were meant to do so. So more mech coming out from Perseus and just streaming across the map now. And there's really not a lot back at home here for Hohner to be able to repel this, as he's taken such significant drone losses.
It looks like he did manage to get out 1 Mutalisk, but didn't really commit to that too much since the Spire went down. But he's just making a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Banelings, and gosh, I just don't think that's going to go. So we'll look at all of these Hellbats here and the Thors and the Banshees. So this is the first mech we've seen of the day, and so far looking pretty good for Perseus. As you're going to come across here, there's a Macro Hedge out front. All the Zerglings coming in, and they are just going to evaporate at the wrath of these Hellbats.
Walking right into flamethrowers there. They're trying to come around, but they are just not able to get surrounds on these and slowly moving into their deaths.
Got some nice hits there with those Banelings, taking out a few of them. He did lift up a couple into the medevac to save them, but they are still working and still doing damage to those drones. Thor's coming in behind completely unabated here. It looks like Banshee just kind of poking away at whatever they feel like.
Yeah, they're trying to stay out of the range of that Spore Crawler there. They really don't want to go down to static defense if they can avoid it. Hellbats do take it out, so they are free to come in now. But it looks like Perseus is just going to lift up that Thor and head on home.
Yeah, nice pickup there to save that Thor as the Hellbat numbers were waning. So that was a lot of Zerglings out, but really, I mean, Hohner really needs to get something done now. He can see with that giant Thor hanging from the medevac there with the Zerglings that he's kind of headed back home. And there's yet another Thor. These Zerglings are going to be able to just completely ravage. Zerglings surround the Thor very nicely and take it right down, but he's still going to have a hard time breaking in here. There are it's a nice little wall here, but he doesn't have it down. He makes it right in.
Yeah, he didn't get that supply depot up, so now the Zerglings are in his base, returning the favor that was paid to him earlier by the Hellbats, and more SCVs are
raises
going
up that supply depot at the main ramp just in time. Now these Zerglings are completely trapped. Banelings in production as the Hellbats walk right past, and they go boom.
That's right, indeed. These SCVs are rallied to kind of be mining from the third base, as the command center wasn't able to land because of creeps, so they're just getting picked off as they're trying to return their payload, and now the units loss count is climbing.
This is really punch for punch in this game so far. I mean, Hohner kind of laid the hurt on Perseus here early in the game, then Perseus really turned back, and we thought he was turning it around here, but now Hohner really kind of turning it back on Perseus again and really raising up that supply depot at the front wall there, trapping all of those SCVs that were mining off the third base and just getting them killed. I mean, he lost quite a significant number of SCVs there, and another Thor just kind of left out to dry here.
Yeah, those Zerglings. Oh, they're not really doing the job, though. They are getting some shots off.
The medevac and just barely picks it up. Wow. So now, now Hohner, if we're looking at the units, he's got 48 drones to 64 SCVs. So Hohner definitely still on the back foot here by quite a bit from the just from the mining perspective here. More Thors coming out now, switching into tanks instead of those Hellions. So looks like Perseus once again is going to stabilize here, and if Hohner doesn't do a little bit more economic damage, he's going to get quite an advantage here. But I suppose as we see all these SCVs transferring from the main base, Perseus is only on 2 mining bases here.
Mutalisks are moving in. They do spot a medevac that is idle. They're going to take some shots at that and are now going after the SCVs on the gas. But he lifts them right up into that medevac and baits the Mutalisks right over Thor's. They do happen to get the medevac, but they can't pay for with their lives.
Zerglings here now in the third base as the Planetary Fortress finishes. Does get 9 additional SCV kills before the Planetary Fortress shoos them away. So that is going to do a good bit of protection here, but it's 26 SCVs mining off of there with none in the gas. Maybe a little bit of an oversight there. But still, oversaturation, the problem here for Perseus at, it looks like almost both of his bases here. So even though that he has more SCVs and more mining potential, he's maybe not as being as efficient with that, which may even it out a little bit.
And Hohner's really been doing a good job with these pronged attacks here and is starting to even the workers killed tab here. So 39 workers killed for Perseus, 33 for Hohner. Perseus still has the advantage in terms of workers killed, but Hohner is constantly expanding. He's going to be able to drone up as quickly as he wants.
39 drones killed to 33 SCVs killed, so the units lost here is fairly even as far as numbers, but resources, Hohner has lost significantly more, about 3,000 more, as he looks like he's preparing for a bit of an onslaught here at the third base. About the only thing he could do really is to make a ton of banelings and just crash them right into that planetary fortress. And looks like he's making about 8 or 9 of them here, and that's really not going to be enough to take that down. But looks like he's going to be moving out on the map here again, and there's a medevac coming through, and it looks like it has 2 Hellbats in it, so he's going to be looking to make a nasty Hellbat drop out here on this base that is still in production.
Hohner's Zerglings did try and attack some Thors and tanks, but they were quickly shooed away with a few tank volleys there.
Those banelings did crash themselves into that planetary fortress at the third, but it was not enough to take it down. SCV's quickly repairing that, but he did lose 4 SCVs, so still going to be an advantage here for Perseus, but he needs to get another base up, which is exactly what Hohner is doing, starting to that mass Zerg expansion.
4 Zerglings go over to try and deal with those Hellbats, but that is not going to be enough with those blue flamethrowers, and they continue to pick away at that hatchery. More Zerglings are streaming over, and the medevac is able to pick both of them up, but Mutalisks do come in to try and deal with it, and the boost has run out, so that is going to go down. Oh, but the Thor is coming forward. Is he going to get it? And he does, but he's got to move those Mutalisks.
Oh, gosh. Oh, he did end up losing. It looks like maybe 1 Mutalisk, but did get them out. They do heal up pretty quick, so as long as they don't have any other engagements here, they should be all right. Got some sensor towers on the field now, so he will be able to see with a decent bit of warning. Just going into full force, full-on tech mode here, mech mode here, as this game is progressing, which is going to be rough for Hohner, it looks like. He's not really super set up for that. Zergling, Baneling, Muta, is a little bit tough against mech with the Thors and the tanks.
We do see that he's going to be adding infestors as pathogen glands is finishing up here, but I don't believe there's any on the map or in production, so that's going to be a little bit of a secret up his sleeve for future use.
Yeah, +3 going down here now for the melee units as well, so it looks like he's going to be committing to the Ling Muta Baneling here.
And Perseus clarifying that he was just trying to repair. He's not trying to say get out or anything like that.
A very well-mannered gentleman there, dropping mules and letting the opponent know that he's not trolling him.
But those tanks did make short work of the expansion that was over there, so this mech army is slowly moving across, and Hohner's got to try and deal with this or do enough damage to force it to return.
Now he's going to be moving here up into the main base, or the natural expansion area here of Hohner, and this is going to be pretty nasty. He doesn't really have a lot to do with this. He's got a few Zerglings. Looking at the unit count, he has, about 40 Zerglings and just not a whole lot else. So pretty much at this point, Perseus is just going to kind of walk up on in here. Hohner has lost most of his units so far, and the buildings here at the front are going to delay it a bit, but the Thor's in a pretty good position to protect those tanks so the Mutalisks can't come in and take out too many.
And there's the GG.
There's the GG. So, we said that we were expecting some mech Terran play right out the bat, and that's kind of what we got. So that was interesting because it just kind of went back and forth a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of kind of phase shifting of drones killed on one side and then backing off, and then drones being killed on the other side and then backing off, and both trying to recover. But it seemed like Perseus's trajectory was just moving more towards armored stuff, and he was continuing to save those things too. He did a lot of medevac play, was able to lift up, move along, and was able to get a lot done that way. So he was able to save those units as opposed to losing them like the Zerglings were being picked off and the Mutalisks were sometimes being picked off as well.
Yeah, definitely if he was to get ahead or get any traction going in that game, I think he definitely needed to be switching to some different kind of tech. Ling, Baneling, Muta just isn't going to cut it against a full-on upgraded mech army like that of Terran. And once Perseus was able to stabilize and get that going, that was really the turning point, because he had so many workers, and Hohner was doing a good job of trying to you know, kind of poke in and take out some workers here and there, but just wasn't quite enough.
That's right.
So a good first game, and we'll look forward to our second game here. While we get that set up, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So stick with us here at Youmacon Detroit 2014.
Stay tuned.